What you want?
All right. Hello. What's up, Ernie? I'm going to take those off because due to technical difficulties, those aren't doing me a shit's bit of good tonight. Welcome, everyone who might be watching, all three of you. Hi, Mom.
Right?
Hi, Ernie later, and me after that. This is Middled Out. I'm Tom.
Ernie.
And we're going to talk about politics. And as we were talking about before we turned on the camera and the microphones, it's almost November 3rd, and thank fucking God. I'm done with it already. I've been done with it for weeks. You?
Yes. So the next time we get together to do this, it still may not even be decided. I don't know what I was thinking.
It could be. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion of are we going to have this big like election combat? Like, is it going to be real? Are there going to be lawsuits after?
How many Chads are going to be hanging nationwide this time?
How many Chads?
Bush Gore, Florida. Remember?
Vaguely.
The hanging Chads?
I don't remember hanging Chads.
They had to recount Florida like 3-4 times.
Oh, I do remember a lot of recounts in the Bush election.
And one of the things that came up was because they were still doing the punch.
Oh, yeah.
Those punches, those are Chads.
Oh.
And if one was punched, but it was still dangling, does that count or not? And those were the hanging Chads. Do you count them? Do you not? Who knows? Wow.
I honestly think, why can't we do this shit on the internet? Why can't we have...
Too easily hacked, eh?
Not if you know what you're looking for. Not if you have a secure system.
I mean, that would always be the argument that the loser makes.
Well, yeah, but that's the argument that they're making anyway, right?
That's true.
Well, did they hack it? Did some sort of nefarious activity happen behind the scenes, and now the wrong person got elected president?
And one person has 13,000 usernames. Who knows, dude? I don't know.
Maybe what we should do is charge like 1-900 numbers. You remember the old 1-900 numbers? We charge like $5 a vote. And that doesn't mean you're able. You got to enter your social security number and everything, right? It's an analog form to phones, right? So there's some control there, but you got to pay $5 for your vote, and then that goes to pay for all the dumb shit the guy you voted for does.
So yeah. There are some states that can take up to 6 days after the election to count ballots.
Yeah. Have you cast your vote already?
No.
Me either. A lot of people that I know have. A lot of people putting their make sure you vote things on Facebook and shit. I haven't done it yet. There are a couple of things that I'm still curious about. It's not president. I'm not going to vote for either of the ones that are likely to win. I think we've kind of established that. I think I might cast my vote for Joe Jorgensen just to. I mean, it's at least a viable third party. Not that I'm a big fan of how the Libertarian Party handled their shit this year, but.
Did you watch the second debate or the final debate?
No, I didn't. I heard it was better. with it was better controlled.
It was.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that it was Trump's greatest debate ever.
Oh.
I think he left some. Man, I think he left some voters wanting more. So, firearms did not get brought up at all.
In any of the debates, right?
Right.
Because why would Joe Biden bring up his stance on firearms that he has so recklessly like discussed during his campaign. During the early days of his campaign, when he's just stumbling through words and yelling at union members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why would he?
Why didn't Trump bring it up?
Well, because Trump hasn't been that great for the Second Amendment.
No, well, he doesn't have to be that great. He just has to be not as bad as the other guy.
See, isn't this a problem though? Don't you see the problem?
Oh, I do. I do.
That's the whole basis of this election. Where he doesn't have to be good. He's just got to be a little better than he doesn't have to be. He just got to be not as bad as the other guy.
Well, Biden has promised that he's going to let Beto O'Rourke write.
Yeah, I know,
but his gun.
I know that was pretty early in the stuff. Has there been recent discussion of that?
I haven't seen anything recent.
I remember "you're gonna handle this for me," but that was just him trying to fondle the ball sack all the Beto O'Rourke
of the guy that just got
yeah. I mean,
well,
again, I actually had a conversation about this today. Who names themselves anything that remotely resembles Beta? Like, who decides that that's their name? That's like the. It's the symbol for second best.
Right. Well, but even second best gets a first place trophy these days.
Don't get me started on the fucking. Oh.
Better be careful.
The culture. Yeah, I'm a little buzzed.
No, you're starting to sound more and more conservative.
I'm not conservative, though, because half of
That's why I said you need to be careful.
Your fucking people are just as crazy.
My people.
Yeah, your fucking Republican bullshit. They're just crazy in different ways. You know what?
Okay.
Here's a new policy, and I'm gonna give some praise to someone I don't always give praise to. This guy I know, Andrew, posted something on Facebook today, and I'm gonna bring it up to you because I thought it was a valid point, and I want to talk about this. How would you feel about legislation that required young men to get vasectomies? They got to get a vasectomy, and then when they can prove that they can financially and emotionally and spiritually guide another human being through this world, then they can get that vasectomy undone.
Can you undo vasectomy?
Yeah, they're undoable. They undo themselves pretty regularly. Ask Troy.
I've heard about that.
So yeah. I'm gonna actually read this real quick because it was poignant.
Man, that would solve a lot of issues.
It would.
We would no longer be having a debate on. Well, we wouldn't be able to talk about abortion anymore.
Well, abortion.
Poverty would decrease.
So you're for this? You're for this? Okay. Stop abortion at the source. Vasectomies are reversible. Make every young man have one. When he's deemed financially and emotionally, and I added spiritually fit to be a father, it'll be reversed.
Okay. So who makes that determination?
What do you mean? I don't know. What determination should you make on being a parent? Right? Financially, I did a whole bit about having $25,000 in the bank. But mine wasn't vasectomy based. It was you can't fuck. The whole thing was there was you could swipe your debit card on somebody's fucking
vagina.
The belts.
Oh yeah. The
chastity belt. There you go. Yeah, a chastity belt. You swipe your card, and if you got $25,000 in the bank, that motherfucker opens. Ta-da! And you get the pussy. If you don't have $25,000, you can't have the pussy.
God, dude, that would solve so many problems.
It did not go over well. And it wasn't
bunch of broke fuckers. So what the fuck? That's why.
Here's where I made the problem. Okay, I said that the woman should have the chastity belt. What this says is the man should have the chastity belt. And I think that's reasonable. I think a dude in a cock cage would be until he's got $25,000 in the bank.
And he could still bang.
no, in the cock cage you can't bang.
No,
but
no,
under this premise,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
No, I think it's a reasonable way to handle things, right? Vasectomies, I've had 2 of them. They're not the most fun, but you know what? For me, well worth it. So yeah, what if we legislated the requirement of vasectomies in young men?
So you fill out your draft card and get this.
And no, because you fuck long. I went to a very rural high school where there was the town I went to high school in had the highest teen pregnancy rate in the state per capita. There was a lot of them. I knew a girl who got pregnant at 11, had a kid at 12.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? She was moving that kid out and was still young enough to be looking good in the club.
She was 11 years old. That kid moved out before she was 30.
I know. If everything went well.
Well, I don't know how it went. I think I don't remember exactly what happened. I think she might have lost the kid at some point in time.
I was friends with one of the few gals that got pregnant in high school.
Oh. One of the few. You did not go to my high school. There were a lot of teen pregnancies.
There were a few. Probably maybe 10 a year type of thing, if that.
But that's
probably not even that.
What was your graduating class every year though?
300.
So that's 10 a year. So that's what, 3%?
Of 1,200?
No, 3% per year, right? 300 people graduated a year. 10 people roughly.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a little over 3%.
I bet it wasn't even that then.
Yeah, that's so, I don't know.
I bet it wasn't
a lot of kids got pregnant in my high school. I had my son when I was 19. His mom was 17. So yeah, I mean, I'm one of the statistics really. Yeah. There was nothing to do in the town I grew up in.
So her kids moved out already, and has kids of her own.
Her kids. She was younger than me because I was 15. She was 11. So when I was 16, she turned 12 and had her kid. I didn't have my kid until I was 19. So her kid was 3 years older than my kid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Long since her kid's like 27 years old now.
I know.
That's crazy.
There's something to that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
12?
The kids
12 years old? You take your son in. You've got a 12-year-old son, right?
No, he's 10, gonna be 11.
Okay, so you'll soon have a 12-year-old son. How would you feel about taking your 12-year-old son in to get him fixed?
I don't know.
It's not nearly as bad as the the gender reassignment surgery.
Oh God, no. No. I don't know. I don't Dude, I don't think it's if everyone was doing it, I mean, I'd be like, oh, fuck, dude, this is what you got to do. So you get married.
Dude, go out there, go to college. You know what? Honestly, I would have if I had a vasectomy at 12 years old, I would not be a parent now. And don't get me wrong, I love my kids. I do. They changed me. They made me a way better person. But I would not have chosen to have them, especially when I did. So I made a lot of terrible decisions. I made a lot of terrible compromises just because I had kids. So yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I would try talking him into it. I think I would leave it up to him.
He's 12. He's 12 years old. He's your kid. You make him fucking do it.
I don't know, man.
It's just a little incision into your scrotum. I can show you my scars, both of them. No, you don't want to see this.
We're good, dude. We're good.
You don't have to get 2 of them, but here's what you got to do. You got to tell the doctor you're a little nervous first. Say, Doc, I'm trying to be cool about all this, but you're really going to be cutting my sack open. I'm a little nervous about this. Could you give me a little something to take the edge off? And he'll give you a nice Valium. You'll take that Valium. And here's another thing you got to do, folks at home. Get a nice warm pack on your sack for about 15, 20 minutes before the surgery. And then you go in and it's done like that. Do not go in there anxious, nervous, and
cold.
And cold, yes, cold. My sack was shriveled up so bad. The first time it was terrible. It's terrible.
Look like a apple walnut shell.
Oh. Yeah, that was not a fun time. And so I had been cracking jokes because that's how I deal with anxiety. I crack jokes, and I was cracking jokes with the urologist the whole time, and the whole time before, like when he did the inspection, like when we laid down all the estimates and everything, he's like, "Yeah, you'll be in here 20 minutes, you'll be out, we're done." I've been doing this for 40 years because I found the oldest fucking urologist that you could possibly find.
Where was he out of?
Here in Albany. He was so old, in fact, that between the time that I got my vasectomy done and I got that final test, he retired. He was old. He was so old that, like, the first one, he struggled to get my first one done the first time. Right? So they go into your sack. Mm-hmm. It's going to get graphic, folks. Sorry, this is what happened to me. Huh? They go right between where the penis and the sac join, okay? Because that's where the vas deferens tubes are most accessible, apparently. So they go in, and they put a nice little incision in there. They go in, they pull out the vas deferens tube, they cut it, they flip it over, they cauterize it, sew it back to itself, whatever they got to do, and they let it in. And then through that same incision, they go to the other side, right? That's what's supposed to happen. So for me, he spent about 30 minutes getting the first one. He would hook it and pull it out, and then I would get anxious and, like, because the ball sack is all muscle. Mm-hmm. It's and I have quite a bit of muscle tissue down there, and it just up every time I got nervous. So every time he would get a hold of it, I had to go, "Oh, I got it," and I would go, and he'd lose it, right?
What a dick!
So long that the anesthesia started to wear off, and I could feel it. Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened. So I know the physiology down there. I know where everything's at. I can picture what he's doing, and he's cracking jokes because the whole time leading up to this, I was cracking jokes with him. He's telling me stories and all this shit while I'm freaking the fuck out on the table. So yeah, he finally gets the first one, and then he goes for the second one. And he's so old that, like, he's weak now, and his hands start shaking, and I can feel his, like, hands shaking, trying to get a hold of my second vas deferens tube and pull it out so he can clip and sew and cauterize and do all that shit. Yeah, he could not get a hold of the second one.
Jeez, dude. This sounds horrible.
Don't tell your son that story, by the way.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You gonna throw your son into this? 12 years old, he's got to go in and get a vasectomy.
Under the knife, throw him under the knife.
Yeah. It is reversible. It's one of the most reversible things that you can do as far as pseudo permanent birth control. No? Oh. Why not? Why not?
Well, hold on, dude. I didn't say no. I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's weird.
Why is it weird?
Because it's not normal. That's why it's weird.
It's not normal.
Yeah, we don't vasectomy 12-year-olds.
Okay, what is a good age? What is a good age to legally require someone to get a vasectomy? 12 might be a great age. I think for me it's the most reasonable age. When I knew, so the girl who was 11 who got pregnant, her boyfriend was 12. So that's the youngest dude that I've ever known to get someone pregnant. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch. Maybe what, 14? When did you fuck the first time?
18?
17.
17?
Yeah.
I think I waited until like a week before the wedding.
That's right. You've only been with the one person.
Yeah, I think
that is both
but you know what?
Amazing and kind of sad.
We might have actually been married.
Really? You didn't fuck it that you were married?
God, and then because I think you're legally married as soon as you sign the documents at the courthouse.
No.
And then we had you have to go through the ceremony.
You have to go through the ceremony. The ceremony is part of the legal I know that because I'm an ordained officiant.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, it was like
a week before.
maybe like a week before.
Yeah, and she still married you.
Yeah, which is amazing because it was not great for her.
Never is.
It was not great for her.
Never good the first time. Certainly 2 first timers. I sucked so bad for like the first 20 years. Oh, did you?
Oh, it was great for me. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I finished and.
Did you actually make it inside the tunnel?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Let's see. My first time.
Well, we had practiced,
Oh, yeah. You probably had a fair amount of other alto. Yeah. So my first time I didn't get off. I really wasn't attracted to the girl. She was just really eager to take my V card, and I was really eager to get rid of it. I don't
see how attraction even comes into play here. Then, first time? No. No. So we fucked for probably about 45. She wasn't that bad. We fucked for about 45 minutes to an hour. Just straight pile driving her.
I was softer then than I am now. I was being, I've been watching a lot of romantic movies and Cinemax and shit like that. So I wasn't trying to drive her through the couch, because that's where we fucked, on a couch. There was a lot of distraction going on.
Okay.
My buddy was throwing up on the couch next to us because we were in like a living room, and there was a couch here and a couch here. He had gotten too drunk and was throwing up. So yeah, there was a fair amount of distraction. My second time, I didn't even get the condom on.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nope, blew up in my own hand.
That can happen.
Yeah, it went that way quite a bit, really, for a while. Except for I was doing meth, and meth was a very good tool for sex, because I could last for, an hour, 2 hours, however much dope I had, I could fucking last that long. So yeah, it was good for that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember how that went. You did not blow up all over the launch pad.
No.
Oh,
well,
that's good.
Yes. But
intentionally.
Yes.
Intentionally. Not you got a few strokes in before you did that. Well, that's good. Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it solved a lot of our problems. Would you go as far as to let's assume this is mandated. Let's pick an age, 14.
I'm 16. So I would say 16. I was joking at the 12, honestly. That was really to get a rise out of you. I think 16. 16 is a good age of consent across the board, right? Because most kids by 16 are really thinking about sex. As far as what you do to the kids before that happens, I mean, as parents, you just got to beat them for a while and then, I don't know, absorb them as younger siblings. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be weird. So 16.
Okay, let's say 16 years old.
Everybody.
Yep.
Every male, 16 across the board.
You know what? Actually, let's make it 15 just to be safe. And when they go in to get their permit, they have to go in and get a vasectomy.
Okay.
Okay? I think that's reasonable.
Okay. So what if you're caught driving without the vasectomy?
What do you mean? Oh.
So what's the punishment if you don't get it?
So, I think your parents are in trouble. I think your parents get a fine. Well, how much does a kid cost?
So hold on. Then rich kids can go without?
Well, yeah. Who cares?
And then how are you going to find ghetto kids? Parents. How are you going to find them?
That's a good question. Maybe you find the rich kids' parents for the ghetto kids.
They're already putting that bill.
I don't know.
How about illegal immigrants? Does it apply to them, or is that another law?
I think rather than having border patrol, we should just have urologists at the border. Here, lay down. We cut you open. We take it out. You go. Yeah. They're Catholic, though. They're Catholic. They won't want to come in, right? So we have solved illegal immigration in this country.
And let's get the shakiest handed old men we can find to patrol the border.
I thought I was the sadist in the room.
You want in? No problem.
No.
Grab it and pull up.
Oh, now I'm having fucking flashbacks. No, scary. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like a reasonable thing to do, right?
Yeah, jail. If you can't pay the fine, if you can't pay the fine, then you got to go to jail where you can't fuck and get someone pregnant. You can fuck, but no one's getting pregnant.
I think you put them on some kind of a work program
where they can fuck some more.
So before the court case closes, they're snipped. Let's make this a mandate, right? Like the urologist is in the courtroom
waiting.
Just don't move. This one take a minute.
Hit the gavel. Swing the gavel. I'm ready.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think it solves a lot of issues.
It's reasonable, and you're on board.
Yeah, dude, I'm alright with something like that. Yeah, and you'll know when a kid is ready to have a vasectomy because he's gonna come to you. He's gonna make at some point some smart ass remark because he thinks he knows all about sex because he learned it from his friends. You know it? Like, oh, I'd fuck that bitch sideways, and you'd be like, vasectomy time.
So, I know this from experience because my son's about twice your son's age. They don't learn anything from their friends.
No, their friends don't
They've
know
got
anymore.
Pornhub and RedTube and Xvideos and
yes.
All of
yeah.
There is a plethora of porn just waiting for them to stumble across and get by one of the easily surpassed parental filters that are out there, because I tried several of them. Caught my son, looked at my fucking porn history one time, and I'm like, hey, I didn't watch that fucking video. That was not mine either. God, that little shit.
Hey, you're plugging up my watch list with a bunch of shit I haven't watched
yet. You're fucking up how I scroll.
That's the problem when you share a Netflix account with someone. They're going to fucking put all the weird shit in the watch list. And you're going to be like, God damn, we didn't watch this, did we? Were we that drunk?
Oh, no. Yeah. That's,
I had to call my dad. Mom, were you guys watching Thelma and Louise? What the fuck? I've never watched that movie.
It's a pretty classic movie.
It's a classic movie. I have watched it, actually.
I wouldn't watch it
again, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
When Brad Pitt was the sexiest bitch in that film.
Wasn't Gina Davis in it?
Yeah.
You remember her in Transylvania 65000? Oh, it's Halloween time, dude. I'm going to have to pull that one out. Oh, my God.
We're doing,
She
opposed to
so
doing...
fucking hot.
Are you guys going to do the trick-or-treating thing?
Like through South Pacific, or?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know any of the public stuff that's going. My daughter's 14 years old. She'll soon be 15. She's kind of at the end of the trick or treating.
Yeah.
And with the coronavirus thing, we're just gonna chill at home, fucking watch old Halloween movies.
Right.
Like I brought up Birds, because Birds for me when I was really young was one of the most scary, horrifying, nightmare-inducing films that I ever watched.
That's because crows are everywhere, and they're pack animals.
Hitchcock had a really good way about putting things together. He really did.
He did. I watched Vertigo.
I might before the month is over, or before. Well, I don't know if it'll be before the month is over, but before the year's over, I might watch some of the old stuff like Psycho, Vertigo, some of the other stuff that he put out. I remember watching them as a kid, and he really had a way of writing and directing films that, he kind of coined the jump scare and but Birds specifically gave me nightmares for years, like recurring waking up shaking like a leaf, just fucking nightmares.
I was trying to think. I bought a movie pack on my Apple.
Okay.
And it's all the classic monster movies. And I was trying to think of the guy that played Dracula. Degassi? No. Degassi?
Was it? No, I'm thinking of Vincent Price.
No.
But that's not. He was always more of a host than a feature, wasn't he?
I don't know. But
I might throw on the original Nosferatu just to watch it. I think that's was that a silent film?
Bela Lugosi.
Oh.
So I bought like that era,
okay.
all those monster movies.
Yeah, like the original Count Dracula.
Yeah, original Dracula, Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Karloff, the Mummy.
Boris Karloff.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. All
So
right. So the 1930s, 40s, 50s, right?
Yeah, 30, 32, The Invisible Man. It was an 8-movie pack. It's actually right here. You can get all 8 of them for $40.
Yeah, nice.
The Wolfman was $41. Phantom of the Opera was $43.
Yeah.
Creature
Classic.
of the Black Lagoon was $54. That's probably the newest.
Okay.
But yeah. So the classic monster movies.
Mm.
So I watched Dracula and Frankenstein last year.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm the only one in the house that likes the old monster movies.
So I'm gonna play. So Birds is really the only kind of classic-y pre our generation. We got Beetlejuice, so that was a good one. Gremlins, which not necessarily a Halloween movie, but a little scary, so you want to throw that in there. And then Young Frankenstein, which was really early youth for us at best, but
it's
Mel Brooks film,
right?
Yeah,
right. Almost comedy, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
total comedy.
I've never seen it.
God damn it! It was I can't think of his name. He was in other Mel Brooks films.
Gene Wilder?
Gene Wilder, there you go, yeah. Gene Wilder was Young Frankenstein, and really fucking funny. Yeah. Early career, 1974, I think. Okay. But yeah, really funny, just ridiculous, everything you would expect from a Mel Brooks film. Yeah.
Hey Siri, show me... Hey Siri... You butt fuck. Hold on. You guys see Gina Davis?
I remember Gina Davis had
Transylvania.
She had some sexy stuff.
Oh, God, dude, she was so hot back. Speaking of kind of witches and stuff, I showed the kids some Elizabeth Montgomery, season 1, episode 1.
I'm lost in it.
You know her.
I probably do.
It's a little trivia.
I want to think like Witches of Eastwick.
No.
That was the earliest witch movie that I remember.
Not a movie. It was a TV series. Season 1, episode 1.
I don't know that I watched it. What year was it? Probably late 90s.
54.
Oh, 54.
The originals were black and white. Like the first 75 episodes.
Not Bewitched.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not Barbara Eden.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bewitched.
Yeah, Bewitched.
I remember when I was a kid.
I remember Bewitched from Nick at Night.
Mm-hmm.
You watched it on Nick at Night?
I watched Nick at Night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Mom and Dad really liked that show.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a good classic, wholesome show.
And I was like, fuck, dude. Elizabeth Montgomery is hot.
Mm-hmm. She was.
Just hot.
Well, Jeannie was hot, too.
Barbara Eden. Okay, so... Barbara Eden, Elizabeth Montgomery. Which one
Mhm.
would you rather fuck? Because to me, dude, it's an obvious answer.
As their character or
As
just
their
in
character.
general? Genie.
Genie?
Yeah.
Not me.
It was the nose. The whole. Yeah, there was something about that.
That was Elizabeth Montgomery.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Genie was.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Elizabeth. All right. So Bewitched then.
The housewife. That was Elizabeth Montgomery.
Yeah.
Genie was like the party smoking. I mean, she was smoking hot.
Mm-hmm.
She had the
crop
halter
top.
top.
Yeah, halter top. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been so long since I've watched any of those things.
Oh fuck, dude! Just really enjoyed watching it again, though.
Yeah,
it was.
Fun. I would probably throw on some Bewitched and some I Dream of Gina.
Hulu. Yeah, so that was Gina Davis from Transylvania 65000, which was an early Jeff Goldblum film.
Oh, 1985.
Mm-hmm.
She was cute.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't I think for me, she never really had sex appeal.
Oh, did you watch the one where she was with Samuel L. Jackson? She was the spy. What was the name of that?
Not ringing a bell.
Long Kiss Goodnight. Long Kiss Goodnight.
Maybe that was early 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, early to mid 90s.
Yeah, I mean she was pretty. She was pretty. She was cute. She was wholesome. But she was a little old for me in that time, and she didn't have the sex appeal when I was first learning how to rip beats and shit.
I don't know. I've always found Gina Davis to be very good looking.
So Winona Ryder, always big sex appeal for me.
Yeah,
because we're about the same age.
Mm-hmm.
She was a big star coming up when I was in that age group. Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, all those things, and she just had this very ooh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bunny. Hey,
Bunny. Let's see if I can bend the chair. Hey, Brooklyn. Yeah.
Tell the maker thank you. That's good.
I'm not going to call Canada to thank them for the...
Oh, were they made in Canada? Well,
someone with beady little eyes. Terrence and Philip's mother. Yeah.
She just kind of talk.
So...
Tell Sheena thank you.
Thank you.
That's pretty tasty. Anyway, Winona Ryder, even when she went on her crazy shit in the fucking late 90s, early 2000s, still kind of into her.
I don't remember her in anything. Double Jeopardy? Was that her?
She never really did anything that sexy, but she was my age.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always kind of into the goth girls. Heathers.
Oh, okay. I remember an actress that came onto the stage or the screen and then did a couple of movies and then hasn't really done much since.
Who's that?
Amanda Peet.
I liked Amanda Peet.
Mm-hmm.
She was sexy.
Whole 9 yards? Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just that little Walter PPK, I think, that she carried.
From that movie, I remember the nude scene. The full frontal.
She throws up the window.
I think it was just the tits, though, right? Good ones, though. It was a really good, sexy she kind of had this ditzy vibe to her, but dark and ditzy. Yeah.
I'd like to see more of her.
I think she did a couple other movies where she got naked in them.
Did she?
Yeah, I think so.
But as a kid, I was always a fan.
I loved
Alyssa Milano.
I love the. Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Still to this day, she's fucking
She's
hot.
fucking crazy as shit, though.
Well, yeah, she grew up on fucking film.
Yeah.
But she's the hottest shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Witch show. My youngest daughter, has been watching the Charmed show. Yeah, with her in it. She's just as fucking cute now as she was when I was 13 years old.
I don't know, dude. I remember
when
as
she
a
was
little
Sam on fucking Who's the Boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember when she got her license and Tony Danza made her drive that boat of a car with old tires around it for bumpers. Oh, dude. I remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger was her dad. When she got kidnapped, Commando.
Oh, was that her?
Mm-hmm.
God, I watched Commando. I was so young when I watched Commando. I didn't even really appreciate the idea of Commando when I watched Commando.
Oh, dude, I so want a gun cabinet that you have to climb out onto the roof to get into. That was so fucking awesome when I saw that. I was like, dude, the feds would never find it. How fucking cool would that be? Of course, when he really needed a gun, he had to fucking climb out onto the roof to get one.
Yeah. I kind of like having mine right next to the bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alyssa Milano for sure. Who else? God.
Oh, dude, Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, she's hot.
The Underworld series.
Who's the girl from Fifth Element?
Oh, that's Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Mila Jovovich?
You have Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I love the fucking orange hair, dude.
Her whole vibe in that. This like tough but innocent.
Fragile.
Yeah. Fucking amazing.
That could fight, but was pretty fragile.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. No, it was. It was great. It was a great character. That was a great movie. I think I gotta watch that movie again here in the near future. I watch it every few years.
Chris Tucker was in it.
Yeah, Chris Tucker. Yeah. He was
annoying as shit. It was perfect for him.
Yeah.
I don't know how Jackie Chan did it. But they did. I mean, they played well off of one another.
Yeah. Jackie Chan, he's still alive, yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing fucking actor and stuntman, really.
Stuntman. He did all his own stunts, even with broken feet and arms and.
Yeah. Just goes to show you the kind of commitment that I'll never have.
Oh, he loves making movies. I mean, he just loves movies.
He came up in the time of fucking karate movies, and he has made a name for himself as one of the best all time, but bar none. I mean,
I think maybe
when you think
maybe Bruce Lee,
Jackie Chan, those are top two, right?
Jet Li's
a third. I mean, he's good. He did some good shit. It was really cool in Lethal Weapon.
But yeah, I would put Jackie Chan ahead of Chucky Norris.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck
and
Chuck Norris.
No, Chuck Norris was a legit black belt.
No,
had his own dojo. He was the real thing.
So was fucking Steven Seagal, but I wouldn't put him in even close to fucking Jackie Chan.
Seagal can't act.
Seagal can't act. Jean-Claude Van Damme couldn't act.
Oh.
He wasn't even really like he was a martial artist second. He was a dancer first.
Yeah.
But he was sexy and he had that fucking
French accent.
Yeah, so he had the.
There's a lot of Jean-Claude. There's a lot of Jean-Claude on Hulu or
is there?
Prime.
I haven't watched it. He had that one. He had a couple of good ones like. The Double Jeopardy.
Double Dragon.
No, it wasn't Double Dragon. It was
Twin Dragons. No, that was a Jackie Chan movie.
I don't even remember what it was, but I know which one you're talking. That was one of the better ones.
It was.
There were some good Steven Seagal movies. He wasn't a good actor, but there were some good movies. Like they played well to his lack of talent.
Right. But no, Jackie Chan straight up could act.
Well, Jackie Chan could act. He could handle himself. Yeah, he knew comic relief, he knew timing, he knew all of the great things that you have to, be able to do. No, you're good. You're just playing with the cord plug thing. Yeah, no, Jackie Chan, solid. Yeah.
I didn't even know Jackie Chan until I met Amanda. Amanda's family was all about it.
No,
so I'd go over to their house, and I never claimed to be a movie expert, because I am not. But
you are a movie connoisseur.
Oh, I like certain era of movies. It seems like
you have a certain genre for sure that you like. Yeah. You like the funny stuff. You like the goofy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can quote pretty much Dumb and Dumber from front to back.
That is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Step Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those like the goofy comedy duo-ish type of things.
I always did like comedy teens.
Yeah.
That is true.
What about Blues Brothers?
Yeah, dude, like
that's
Blues
solid.
Brothers.
I was reading a whole article on Jim Belushi or John Belushi. Yeah.
John. I like Jim Belushi, dude. He was awesome in K-9.
He was funny as shit in a lot of stuff. I used to watch What About Jim? No, According to Jim. Yeah,
yeah, that's a
I
great
liked
show.
that as a sitcom.
That is a great show. And his wife, again, fucking hot, dude.
She was like attainable hot, right? She wasn't like. She wasn't over
she was
the
like
top
Elizabeth Montgomery hot. Like she's like the Elizabeth.
Who was his wife?
The problem
according
is
to Jim?
Elizabeth Montgomery was like 24 when she started.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I watched According to Jim
according to Jim. I mean, she got started in what? Probably late 30s.
Well,
early 40s.
Courtney
maybe?
Thorne Smith. Is that who it was?
Maybe. Let me see.
All right. Yeah. All right. She was smoking hot. She's not so much now, but she was then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Courtney Thorne Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, I always thought she was great looking. You know who else was really good looking?
Who?
From back in the 80s. Fucking Chevy Chase's wife. From Vacation, the original Vacation. Remember the shower scene with the banana?
I loved the Vacation series.
Yeah.
That whole.
Yeah, what was her name? Hold on, though. Don't tell me right away.
Okay, it was National Lampoon's Vacation, right?
Yep, yeah, Chevy Chase.
I'll give you Courtney Thorne Smith. She was very hot.
I thought she was very good looking.
Nah.
At the time of According to Jim, and she was very good looking in that housewife.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, who is it?
Beverly D'Angelo.
Beverly D'Angelo. God damn, I knew that.
Classic beauty for that generation.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
she pulled off that kind of dumb sexy, if you know what I'm talking about, like just not really aware of reality or anything like that, but she just kind of bebopped through life, and yeah.
She seemed like she would have been a great wife. Like she
could let some shit roll off her shoulders. Yeah.
Like, man, my husband's kind of a dumbass. I got it, but
she seems like the kind of girl. She seems like the kind of girl that you would like fuck, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that just happened," and then just fucking walk right away from it, not be weird about it or anything. Yeah,
I would bang the shit out of Beverly D'Angelo. I remember as a kid watching that movie with my dad, just fucking waiting for the shower scene. Like, fuck, any minute now.
She didn't get like naked. Like they didn't have any
titties.
Did they show titties?
Oh yeah, dude, it was great. They were great.
I don't remember this.
Oh, dude, they were nice. Beverly D'Angelo, I hope you're not listening. You'd be weird.
Here's the thing. Now
who was the hot blonde in the Ferrari?
Oh, got it. Now I remember. Remember the titty scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Christy Brinkley.
It was, yeah.
It was Christy Brinkley.
Sorry, I'm still looking at Beverly D'Angelo's tits.
Yes. Remember Christy Brinkley's ass silhouette, like outline, when she jumps into the pool skinny dipping?
Sorry.
Beverly D'Angelo still?
Yeah. The whole, like, because she has a pretty long list of tit pics. And,
really?
Yeah.
I need to broaden my horizons, I guess.
Mr. Skin, man. Mr. Skin. Yeah, Christy Brinkley was hot.
Christy Brinkley, yeah. She was in the Vegas Vacation. They brought her back after all those years in Vegas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
With the kid in the back, still driving the Ferrari.
Yeah.
It was a great throwback.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I remember I like that franchise. I watch, like, Christmas Vacation. I watch that one almost every year.
The only one that sucked was Christmas Vacation 2.
I don't know that I've ever really submitted to that one. Well, yeah, so I didn't watch the
Randy Quaid. But he's not enough in that as that role.
Randy Quaid is a second man at best, ever.
Okay. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Christmas Vacation, you got the vacation movies, you got fucking Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
He was in was he in Kingpin, or was that the brother? I think he was in Kingpin.
Yeah.
Just not a leading man.
No,
he's not a leading. He's a great second man. He's a great bolster to.
He's what every movie needs a Randy Quaid.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
he's the comic relief, if nothing else.
Right. But he can't. I haven't seen him carry a movie.
No, he couldn't carry a movie. I don't think. I can't see him in his dynamic on film carrying a movie. He's very kind of two-dimensional, maybe. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. He doesn't really jump off the screen, and he provides comic relief. He does that really, really well.
Not to say Chevy Chase isn't funny, but he needed Randy Quaid.
But his character in those movies, with the contrast of Randy Quaid, it was a very good juxtaposition of characters, because you had Chevy Chase trying to be this better, trying to like further himself and be a better person, and you have Randy Quaid, who is just this, I don't give a fuck how white trash I am, I'm committed to it, and it's okay, and I don't care if I ever get any better, and if you're white, you've been in those families. If you're black, you've been in those families.
Clark,
it doesn't.
It's all you can eat. We only need one plate.
Yes. Randy Quaid is the worst part of every family. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't. He could really bring the races together if you just acknowledge that you have a Randy Quaid in your family.
Everyone has a cousin Eddie.
Exactly. Yes.
And for me, it's Uncle Jimmy.
Uncle Jimmy. Have I met your Uncle Jimmy?
Yeah, once or twice, I think, just coming to the shop.
Okay.
He's not
one of the guys that we play poker with.
No. Uncle Jimmy is not quite a cousin Eddie.
That's Joe.
Injun Joe?
Injun Joe, yeah. Injun Joe.
Michelob Joe?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know how we got that name.
All right. No.
Michelob Joe.
But yeah, everybody's got a Randy Quaid in their family. Everybody's got that person. I can't remember the name of his character in Independence Day, but he offered a really relevant point of view in that movie. You can't remember either. It's a great movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while.
It has been some time.
I liked the alternate ending. Like, it's impossible, so I'm glad they didn't go with the alternate ending.
I don't know that I've ever gone that far into it.
So, for whatever reason, he's not allowed to fly an FA-18, which makes sense, right? Because you wouldn't put him behind the stick of one of those.
It's
so
like
he
a
comes
$35 million airplane.
He comes out of the middle of nowhere in a biplane.
Oh, in the biplane! Oh!
And instead of flying the Hornet, he flies that, so that's the alternate ending.
Okay.
I was like, man, he wouldn't have made it anywhere near there. He would have been shot out of the sky.
Yeah, he could.
Because there were still aliens flying around.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
As the ship was blowing up, but.
Yeah. I'm back. Mm-hmm. I remember that line. I remember that line. The whole.
Cade. Russell Cade.
Russell Cade. Was that
Russell Cade.
Oh, that was his name in the movie.
Oh,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was an interesting movie. Might have to go back and watch
K
some of
or
those.
K?
So
Russell K.
I was actually talking to some guys a couple days ago about some of the movies that I haven't watched, because I was talking about watching old horror movies, and they were like the Alien versus Predator movies.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I watched
yeah,
the
yeah.
first couple of Predator movies. I watched the first couple of Alien movies. Great fucking films.
Oh, yeah, I
So-
love the first two Predator movies.
So you're gonna have to. You can confirm or deny their point of view, but they thought that the tie-in, the tie together, which I always thought would be a little contrived and just forcing two universes like Marvel and fucking DC. Yeah, trying to force two worlds together just didn't seem right to me. But I've never watched the movie, and they almost got me on board to watch the movie. You think it's worth watching? Do you think
AVP?
Yeah. Do you think they did a good job of tying the worlds together?
See, I have a bias, dude. The only Predator in my mind is Arnold Schwarzenegger in the jungle.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
I thought AVP was okay. I thought it was okay.
Okay. So was there a Predator 2?
Yeah, that had Danny Glover in it in L.A. There were some titties in there, but they were like no-name titties. I don't even know.
I'm not entirely sure I've even seen that one.
Oh,
I probably have, but if I have seen it, it was not memorable enough to commit to memory.
There was a great character I think you might like. He was a new detective, and he's the guy that offered the comedy relief in the movie. I can't remember his character name or his, but
no, I thought the original Predator.
You know who was in it? Busey was in it.
Was Busey in the first one?
No,
he wasn't.
No,
there were
Busey was
none
in
of
the
the original
second
cast was in the first one.
All of the original cast was in the first one.
None of the original cast was in the second one.
Correct.
Okay.
All new.
Yeah, I fell off sober October a little early this year. I've had a shit week. I did. So when we had the birthday party a couple weeks ago, I fell off the wagon. I was like, we're gonna have all these people and all these kids.
Right.
I just want a little something to take the edge off. So I got fucked up that night, and I went right back onto it, and I was good. And then last week, I had some fucking nonsense with the ex-wife, and I fell off the wagon again.
Okay, so it's not work-related issues.
No. No, it's all ex-wife bullshit. But yeah, so yeah, none of the original cast was on the second movie.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
They referenced. They
probably did, but that's never good on a sequel, right? To completely abandon the original cast.
It was fine. It worked because it would have been weird for Arnold Schwarzenegger, because Arnold Schwarzenegger was the lone survivor, other than the Broad, right? From the first one.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it, because it's been a long time since I've watched the film.
Everybody but Arnold Schwarzenegger died.
Okay.
All the special force guys.
Okay.
Dead.
All right.
So it would have been weird for him to have just magically appeared in L.A. of all places at the same time the alien shows up again.
Yeah.
So it would have been bad storytelling to bring him back, even in a cameo. But they did reference him. They did reference like, oh, we've seen the U.S. government. We've seen one of these before, and it wiped out an entire special forces team down in wherever they were. I think
Colombia.
Was it South America or Africa? I'm gonna have to watch it again.
It's been a while. At any rate, it might have been Africa. It might have been Southeast Asia.
Could have been.
It was in a timeline when we were still considering the Vietnam War.
It was 84?
84, 85, yeah.
So
honestly, that was a really good few years, 84, 85, 86, really good few years for movies.
Action movies.
We had fucking Top Gun. Predator. All of
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, what was the other Arnold Schwarzenegger? Terminator.
The first one was
Back to the Future.
That's not an action movie, but yeah,
it was a good film though, right? It's a good solid movie from that generation. Like that was
Central America.
So it was Central America.
Yeah.
Honduras, Bolivia, something like that.
I don't even know if
Bolivia, I think, is South America. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh man, that's good. So Sean and I will end up watching that one.
Yeah.
So that's
It's a
one
good
I think
movie.
he can handle. Not scary at all.
I watched that movie when I was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Well, 85? I would have been 8 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched all those movies in that time. Parents didn't really care what their kids watched when I was a kid.
Well, Amanda's did.
Did they?
Yeah. So she was always found it weird that I grew up like I went to the drive-in and watched Terminator and Terminator 2, you know, and she always found that weird because she had a hard time watching The Simpsons. You know, if her parents
I can
were
see
around.
that about her. I mean, I've heard her severe bias when it comes to cannabis. I could see her being a little sheltered.
A little bit. A little bit. I gotta admit, she wasn't my first girlfriend in high school that had led that kind of a childhood.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I had a type, but I don't know. Maybe I just always wanted to appear as the bad boy, but not actually really be a real bad boy. So if you find a good enough girl, you get to be the bad guy or the bad boy.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be a bad boy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I had a type too. They were the ones who said yes.
That's a good type.
That was. Usually they had like personality disorders and a ton of baggage. But yeah.
That seems to be kind of a prerequisite to the yes.
Yeah, daddy issues. I still have the same type. I've just learned how to manage them better in my old age. Some people say that makes me a misogynist. I think that just makes me prepared.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I could talk about movies all night.
Yeah, no, I could too. It's kind of fun putting some movies together for the kids to watch. We watched the Back to the Future franchise last year with the kids.
Oh yeah.
Which was kind of nice, showing them, because I still have a ton of nostalgia for that movie franchise.
Dude, I'm not saying if a DeLorean came along inexpensive enough that I wouldn't own it.
Oh, I would absolutely buy a DeLorean. They were badass cars.
No, they were hunks of shit.
They were
dude.
total turds, but they were badass looking cars.
Yeah.
I was actually reading.
John DeLorean.
Yeah.
That was the dude that designed his name, right? Yeah.
I think so.
John DeLorean.
Yeah, DeLorean Motor Company. Just a turd box threw a V6 into what could have been a top-notch American sports car. He threw a fucking anemic
Annihilator.
It would have been it was an anemic V6 in something that should have been fucking V8.
Well, you could get away with a V6 today because you could turbo the shit out of it.
Right. Well, they didn't even turbo.
They weren't doing that back then.
They turbocharged cars back in the 80s. Well, that DeLorean was late 70s.
Mustang had a turbo.
Fuck, I had a Dodge Daytona fucking Turbo Z.
Yep.
That was a fun car. It was front wheel drive, which I thought was a problem with it, but it was a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine.
Yep.
And it did well. Bunny's got a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, pumps out 200 horsepower.
Well, that's now.
Yeah.
But in the 80s, so in 84, 85, you could get a Mustang GT350. And it either came with the 5.0 or a turbocharged 4-cylinder. Was
it turbocharged or supercharged?
Turbo.
Okay. Because I know Ford did between the mid-80s and the mid-90s. They did a supercharger.
The Turbo Coupe, right?
Or
Super Coupes?
Eaton turbocharger that I wouldn't mind getting a hold of because I could mount it onto my Jeep.
What were the Thunderbirds? Those were super.
They had the superchargers. Yep.
Yeah, those were supercharged.
Yep. The early to mid 90s had a twin turbo T-Bird, which was pretty fucking badass.
See, Ford, I bet they stopped doing a lot of that because they couldn't stand the T-Bird to outperform the Mustang.
Well, it was a badass fucking car, and honestly, it looked good in that generation.
They did.
Like the 70s and 80s sucked. The 90s looked good.
On T-Birds?
Yeah. The 60s looked good. The old fucking, like, small coupe design.
Yes.
Fucking tits.
50s.
Early 60s.
57?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was so special about the 57 T-Bird?
Trying to picture it. I don't remember what.
Portal windows, dude. Portal windows. In the back.
They had the kind of the
No, they just had the window, the round window, for the rear passengers to look out.
God, I'd have to look at it again.
Oh
It's
gosh.
been a long time since I've really looked at those cars. And I'm a car guy. I like a lot of cars, and I'm trying to picture what you're talking about here.
Dude, I saw on a trailer in Albany what appeared to be an original 63 Vet. The split window.
The split window, yeah. The Stingray.
My dream
the
car.
Stingray Coupe.
My all-time
good looking
dream
car. See, I liked that one when I was a kid. That was my dream car when I was like fucking, I don't know, probably between 8 and 12. When I was playing with Matchbox cars, that was the coolest fucking car. And now, so honestly, my dream vet would be the fucking one from Lucifer, the show on Netflix. It's like a 57, 59 Corvette. It might even be a 53 Corvette.
There, boom. Oh, not eBay. Come on.
Hold on.
Oh, I started another Suburban project.
Did you? What you got now?
I'm gonna throw in a second battery. That's the portal windows, dude, on the T-Birds.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I totally get what you're talking about.
I think they were there for 1 year.
Really, really sexy car.
They were, dude. Kind of that corporate America sports, like working man sports car.
It was. Oh, it's a 1962. So this Corvette.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
The last year, that body style. Yes.
So it was just like that generation, just that old school sport coupe, convertible.
So not a coupe.
Okay, well, sport convertible, whatever. No, good looking car.
Yes, those are. I wish they would have started putting the 427 in the Vet Stingrays in 63.
Yeah.
But
they didn't do that until
you couldn't get a big block in a Corvette.
Did they build big blocks in the early 60s?
I don't know.
Seems like that was like a late 60s, early 70s thing.
I don't know, man.
Because they did like the 427 in the late generation Chevelles. Yeah. Late 60s, the 68, 69. But I want to say that it was a 327 and 67 and earlier.
I'll tell you what we're going to do.
And calling up your dad.
A call-in.
All right, let's call in Dad.
Expert. Damn near an expert anyway.
Well, he has one.
He's got
sitting on his garage floor.
Dude, that Chevelle?
Yeah.
Fuck. 475 horse small block.
Nice. But that's not what I had originally.
No, God, no. It would have had like a 450 horse big block. Well, no, because what?
Because I don't think
his wasn't a big block factory.
Well, I don't think they did factory big blocks in those. I think they still had small blocks in those.
You can get an SS 396, I think.
In that generation?
Yes.
I thought that didn't come out until 68.
God damn it, Dad! I know you ain't got.
Because his is a 67, right? Yeah. I like that body style. So I like both body styles quite a lot, actually.
It's not even 9.
Maybe him and your mom.
No. Damn. Maybe they're just they are old. God damn it! Next time we do a podcast, we'll call up the old man. And we'll just have a car.
We should have your dad. We should, instead of doing a fucking call in, we should just invite your dad over to fucking sit down and sit and
Sunday.
Sit and chat about it. I'm okay with that. We can fucking set up a Sunday. Oh.
Hello?
What?
Hey, is Dad there?
He's in the tub.
Jeez, we're on the podcast, Mom.
Is he alone or are you with him?
No, he's alone.
Oh my God.
Did you just get out or are you planning to get in?
Neither.
You're no fun at all.
All right. Well, are you thinking probably
that?
Please.
Okay.
We're doing the podcast and we have some important questions.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Holy fuck. Oh my god, dude. I don't think the tub's big enough for my mom and dad. And they've got a garden tub.
Yeah, but your mom. So. Should I avoid going there?
Mm-hmm.
Out of respect.
Dude, no. Poker. Let's set up a poker game.
Fuck, we were supposed to do that in what? September.
So John McCoy he works every other Sunday, and he's off this Sunday. So
I have my kiddo this Sunday, so I probably can't do it this Sunday.
Well, no, it can't be this Sunday anyway. It's still hunting season and shit.
Yeah.
So maybe a Sunday before Thanksgiving.
I could probably make that work.
50?
30. Is it gonna how much before Thanksgiving?
Okay, hold on. How about
I could probably fucking muster $50 because I'm gonna win this time.
So John's off. He works. Off, works, off, works, off. How about December 12? How about December? Well, that's a Saturday, so December 13.
All right. Yeah, I should be able to make that work. The only thing that would
shop. You want to try to do it here again?
I'm okay with doing it here. If it's that weekend, then we'll have the kids. Because if he's the same weekend that I have my kids, which is this coming weekend, then we would have all the kids here, and that wouldn't work very well.
Well,
so
can we take the girls and the kids to my house?
I'm all right with that. Bunny and Amanda get along, so
yeah,
that's not a terrible thing.
Yeah, because Bunny won't fucking pin Amanda down on weed issues. God, I wish Bunny would pin her down though.
That's what I was imagining.
I'm joking.
I honestly, when you guys came over for Christmas last year, there were some vibes going on there. I fucked it up. I admit it. Not that I necessarily want to fuck with you, you know what I mean? But honestly, I'd be excited to give you an experience like that because I've done that shit before. I've done some twisted, fucked up, fun shit. And yeah, I'm okay. I would be okay introducing it to you. I'd be afraid that you'd be a little weird around me afterward. But
it would be weird.
It's really not.
No?
No, I'm not touchy-feely with people that I play with. I'm like, you do this, I'm gonna do this, and fucking high five from time to time, and we're good. Yeah. You come, I come, we all come, we're good. That's good. It's fun. It's a good time. They come usually too.
No,
that's
that'd be a pleasant surprise for Amanda. No, God, now I just want my no. Let's take a break. I don't want to say what I was gonna say after that. So we'll talk about something else.
All right, sounds good. I had a little online fiasco. You heard a little bit about it earlier about my chicken soup.
Okay.
So, I'm aware of this other kink house up in Salem, right? And
is it a rival kink?
It's not rival necessarily. Well, it wasn't. Now it is.
Oh, I love drama.
I wasn't trying to make drama for real. I just have this. I have this perception about BDSM, and it shouldn't be like a pay for play thing.
Right.
Right.
Because they're.
Okay, I'm not saying
hookers.
I'm not even. I'll get to the hookers.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but the part of it that I love is not pay for play. It's just an experience. It's having fun and enjoying each other in ways that normal society don't have fun. So last summer I met this potential playmate, and we chatted for a couple of weeks, and then we met. And in this couple of weeks, she met this other household up in Salem. They're new, don't know anything about them. They say they've been to at their local events, but they don't like have a presence. They don't have like they haven't been vetted. Nobody knows anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells me this that she had met these people, like she was going to go there for a thing, and I had specifically said, hey, you know, I don't know who these people are. You should probably be careful. She came back the next day. She had a great time, and the day after that, oh, they offered me a contract. So a contract for me in BDSM is a very specific and well thought out thing, right? It is the scope of your relationship dynamic
Mm-hmm.
in BDSM. It's how you're going to handle things. It's what's acceptable, what's expected, what's not expected, what you should avoid, and all of those things, right? It's everything about a relationship that nobody talks about, but is talked about in BDSM.
Okay.
It's one of the things that I love about BDSM. It's the passionate part of it. So a contract, just offering somebody a contract willy-nilly, is very foreign to me. I take a lot of thought and processing, and I have denied contracts way more often than I've accepted them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've denied a person the opportunity to be under contract with me as a submissive or as a slave way more, significantly more than I've accepted. I mean, technically, I've accepted 3 over the years, the several years that I've been involved. So to me, after meeting someone 2 days later, offering them a contract seemed very foreign. It was a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'd never even met this person in real life, right? I'd chatted with them for a couple of days online. I'd tasked them with researching certain areas of BDSM. I'm a rope top. So I tasked them with looking up rope, looking up safety, looking up how to be safe in a BDSM environment, those kinds of things. So they came back to me after, you know, a couple of days of chatting and them going to this thing. Hey, they've offered me a contract. I'm like, that's a little weird to me. I think a contract is something that you should be more well thought out and more discussed and negotiated, right? Negotiation is a big part of BDSM. Mm-hmm. Negotiation is what are you into? What am I into? Where are we going to meet? Where are your limits? Where are my limits? What's going to be fun for both of us? What should we probably leave out? Those kinds of things. So that's negotiation, and that's, I mean, for most people, that's at least a several day conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a 3-page checklist of all the shit that I'm into. That's part of my negotiation process. But for me, that's negotiation just for a playmate. That's not even a relationship dynamic.
Right.
So that wouldn't be a contract, because a contract is a relationship dynamic. That would just be like hey, we're going to sit down in real life, right? Now that you filled out my thing, and we're going to get to know each other, because at this point in time, I've looked at the kinky shit you're into compared to the kinky shit I'm into, and I think we might have something to work with there. Mm-hmm. So let's meet in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we meet in real life. We have coffee or a drink or a meal or whatever.
And Brooklyn would usually be with you?
No,
not
at all. She has her own things that she negotiates with people, but as her dom, as her master, I'm influential on those things, but not necessarily like I'm not tyrannical. Like
not dictator.
I'm not a dictator. Like, she gives me feedback into, you know, the people that she's interested in, and I will give her the freedom to go have those negotiations on her own. Once I accept someone as worthy to me, and she tells me, she gives me feedback that she's interested in playing with that person. Mm-hmm. It's a very clear thing between her and I, because she doesn't. One of the things that I offer to her as her dom and as her master is being a buffer, because she doesn't tell people no very well, right? She's a very pleasing person. She wants to please people. So you know, if somebody wants to play with her, instead of having to deal with all of the nonsense that comes along with that, she gets to defer to me. Hey, you need to talk to this person before you even reach out to me in this way, right? Mm-hmm. People can reach out to her as a friend or whatever and chat, but if they want to have any kind of a play dynamic with her, they have to reach out to me first. So that's how our relationship dynamic works. Now, if she found someone that she found interesting and I thought they were worthy, then I would defer them to her, and they would set up a time and they would have a meeting of their own, right?
Okay.
So that's how
Got
they
it.
would have that kind of stuff.
Got it. And so Brooklyn wouldn't be a part of your meetings.
No,
Got it.
and I wouldn't necessarily be, generally wouldn't be a part of her meetings.
Okay. Other than she uses you as a buffer.
Other than she uses me as a buffer, and I tend to know the kind of people that she wants to play with.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I met this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had kind of a vibe. We did okay. We had a drink. We talked, and I disclosed to her at that time that I have HSV1, which is herpes simplex virus 1, the generally known as cold sores, or it's the most common herpes virus of those two.
Can you take a time
Absolutely. You mean you want to talk to your dad about herpes?
No. Hey, Dad. How you doing?
Hello, what's up, son?
No, not much. Tom and I were doing the podcast, and we wanted to talk to you a little bit.
About what?
Oh, just car stuff.
Car stuff? Yeah?
Yeah. Hey, what was the biggest motor, or engine rather, you could get in a '63 Corvette?
You mean physically put in?
No,
No,
from the factory.
yeah.
Was it the 327?
A 63?
Yeah, the split window.
Yeah, it was a 327.
What about the 62 and like the 59 through 62?
62s only had 283s, maybe late 327s.
Okay. So, but it was all small blocks in those.
But yeah, in 61 they didn't offer the 327 at a vet. It was the 283 or the 6-cylinder.
Yeah, because that was really the kind of introduction of the small block Chevy, right?
1965 or 1955.
1955. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When did the big block become kind of a staple of the GM family?
Oh, you could get. Are you talking the big block 396 or the 409?
Either one. When they went from like the small block to the big block.
Yeah. 409, I think, let's see, they come out with a 348 first, so that would have been in probably 61. 62, yeah, 62 or late 62, you could get a 409.
Okay. What cars were those available in?
Impalas.
Okay, so the big
and
cars.
Biscaynes and, the big cars. Like
Yeah.
Boats.
Yeah.
So, what year did Chevy drop the Beast, the 427 LT?
LT.
Right? Wasn't it an LT1?
Oh, the aluminum engine? That's a ZL1.
ZL1.
That was, when did they, I think they only made it for 1 year, maybe 2.
67?
No, it was after that. The 68 came out with a L88, which was a aluminum head cast iron block,
Mm-hmm.
and they came out with a all aluminum. It was either late 68 or into 69 because you could, they made 69 Camaros.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get it?
Yeah, the SS396, yeah.
Of the 1969 Camaros. they had Z01s in them.
Okay.
Okay.
So it would have been the
And
sports version, yeah.
That was all aluminum 427, basically, block and heads and intake.
Yeah. All right. So that's
Interesting.
that. So it wasn't really. So the 67 Chevelle, did it have a big block option?
It had
Yeah.
a 396 on
It did have the
396.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, in 66 and 67, all the SSs were 396.
Oh,
Couldn't
okay.
get any other way.
I thought that didn't come until 68, but yeah.
Right. Well, they did make. You remember Dan Blocker, one of the Cartwright boys on TV, Bonanza?
Yeah.
Chevrolet gave him a 65 SS Malibu
Ah.
396,
Okay.
and they only made 11.
Oh, okay. So that would have been their introduction.
And he ended up with one of them.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it was 11, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just a handful.
I knew it was in that generation, like that mid to late 60s. I didn't think it came till the late 60s body style when they did the complete revision of the Chevelle Malibu.
Well, what's really weird too came
Yeah.
out. And that was supposed to be the 450 horse 454.
Right.
That same year, you could get an SS with a 402, which was basically a Ford out 396.
Oh, okay. What they
But
did?
they offered it as a 402.
Is that the same one that Pontiac did? Is that the same motor that Pontiac essentially did with their 400 big block and all the Trans Ams and stuff during the like early to mid 70s?
No, because those are small block 400s.
I know. I thought those were big block. Were those big block or small block?
Well, Pontiac did make what most people would consider a big block, and it was a 400. And then they made the 421.
Right.
And they made 428s, and they made all kinds of them. Okay.
So you got a little
But
kind of.
yeah, if you really looked at it, the 400 looked a lot like the 350.
So it had the.
As far as externally. So
Okay.
if you talk to a Pontiac guy, he could probably tell you or want to tell you that a 400 was a big block. And if you talk to somebody that really didn't care about Pontiacs at all, 400 was a small block.
Huh.
But the Chevy 400 is a small block.
Chevy 400 is a small block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's built on the same designs as a small block Chevy. It takes the same exhaust manifolds, the same intake, so on and so forth as a 350 would take. So, and the 396 and 427 and 454 is a whole different animal. Nothing interchanges except the starter and the distributor, alternator, that kind of shit.
The distributors were the same on all their Chevs.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, on those.
Yeah.
On the say the 350, the small block Chevy that was made from 55 on. So, yeah, if you run a Vortec, you can run a Vortec engine, which they made those in 96, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the first year.
96 to 99. And if you put a carbureted type intake on it, you can run basically any distributor, okay, from 99 on back. But the newer engines, with the small block Chevys, which is the 5.3 and some of those, there's nothing that's interchangeable
The LS style.
with the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember like vacuum advance stuff on the timing stuff. Did that run up through the 99s?
Vacuum advance, no, because they got into fuel injection.
Right.
They went into throttle body injection, and then they went into the spider injection, like what's on the Vortec.
Right.
engines. Yeah.
So they were
The
using
multi-port
cam and
and
crank
yeah.
positioning sensors.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that would have been some augmentation of the timing system, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't even like using a vacuum advance at all.
well,
I just
it was
don't-
definitely a primitive
Yeah.
technology.
Well, it's made for fuel economy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could imagine, they actually had fuel economy back in the old days, and back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they kind of
actually-
fucked it
that
during
was
the
actually
70s.
a
I remember
concern,
that.
Even though you could buy a gallon of gas for 20 cents.
Yeah.
So, but it was still a concern that they wanted to get good fuel economy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember like the fuel shortages of the early 70s or any of that stuff, but I remember reading about it and all the stuff that they did. But I do know that like emissions control stuff never really helped fuel economy.
No, what they did, especially in the U.S., okay, what they did is they threw smog pumps on and charcoal canisters and a lot of just a bunch of crap underneath the hood of a car.
Yeah.
And everything was supposed to work together and give you good economy, and that got the car dealerships or the car manufacturers, they met their, what the government regulated.
Yeah.
They met that. And even though none of it worked very good or for very long,
No, it didn't.
it was enough to appease the government. That's
Yeah.
all it was about.
Yeah, it was all legislation, all fixing a big problem with a little solution.
And
But
things are totally different now. I
yeah.
mean, well, not totally different, but a lot different. A lot of the vehicles out on the road has more horsepower and more fuel economy than some of the monsters that was horsepower that was built back in the 60s and 70s.
Absolutely. Brooklyn just bought a car it's a 1.6 liter. It's turbocharged. It gets like 200 horsepower, 196 horsepower, and it's just a little teeny tiny four banger. Thing gets like 26, 27 miles to the gallon. Does great. My Jeep, 4 liters, 6-cylinder, 12 miles to the gallon, and I get 150 horsepower.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know. And most of the cars that come over from the other countries across the ocean,
Yeah.
They have to actually be modified before they come into the United States. They have to meet certain U.S. regulations.
Oh yeah, I sold Nissan for several years.
Overseas they get tremendous gas mileage.
Yeah.
Excellent gas mileage. Well, they bring them over here and modify them, and gas mileage kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Compared to what it was getting overseas.
Yeah.
So our regulations isn't all that good.
No, well, they sacrifice efficiency for like air quality, and it's a weird conundrum that they get themselves into. I remember looking at all that because I always looked at diesel engines as such an efficient use of fuel and power. But they wouldn't let it over here because it was too bad on emissions, and getting the European and Japanese diesel engines to market over here was so difficult that they wouldn't do it. They just said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna try it."
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you guys got any more questions about the old stuff?
Always. So, what do you think was the number one leading cause? I think I already know the answer, but what do you think is the number one leading cause to the death of the pony cars?
Well, they made a comeback.
Well, I mean, so 73 was the last of the muscle?
Yeah, so take the Mustang. 72, 73, yeah. Let's see, 73 was the last year of the Mustang, but no one was really buying it because it grew to Thunderbird size.
That's true. Yeah. And they were ugly.
They were hideous. They were Pinto-esque after 73.
They had a V8 in them, and they got 10 miles a gallon, and they couldn't get out of their own way. A good running VW Bug would outrun them. And of course, I think it was the oil embargo.
Yeah.
To answer your question. Yeah. Because it was right around 73, 74, 73, 2 or 3, somewhere around there, that they put sanctions on all the oil. Prices went up on everything. And so the United States took, the idea from overseas and started making small cars.
Yeah.
So they changed the Mustang to a little 4-cylinder car, and several other cars too. They made different cars, body styles and stuff like that would accept little 4-cylinders and 4-speed transmissions and get 20 miles a gallon instead of 10.
But Chevy didn't buy into that completely, did they?
They didn't initially, but they did eventually. No, look at the late 70s Novas.
No, look at the Camaros, though. Those have always been performers.
Yeah, but they weren't...
And the Vets, to a certain degree.
They weren't that performance, especially during the early 80s. The early to, what? Well, the whole 80s. They had big motors, but they were terribly inefficient. And
yeah.
Well, at least they didn't turn the Camaro into a 4-cylinder car like...
Yeah, they turned the Mustang into a Pinto-esque little turd.
Yes.
For like 10 years.
they straightened that out and went in with the 302.
Well, they did the Fox bodies. The Fox body was available in a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, and a V8. And that was when
Some
they.
of it was even turbo too.
Yeah.
79, I think it was.
They did that with a turbocharged 4-cylinder, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was still performance-ish, but it wasn't. I mean, it was still kind of a turd. But the Fox body was really kind of the reclamation of it, because it was 65 through 72 that the Mustang was kind of a contender, and then they just fell off into that ugly hideousness for 7-8 years, and then they came back with something that had some retribution, and then in the 90s they kind of fell off again.
So
Yeah, and it's the U.S. has always been playing catch up when it comes to economical cars.
oh yeah.
Always, and that's why we got so many foreign cars on the streets right now, because they're built better, their performance is better, and they're high quality cars.
Well, there was actually at some point in time, we won't go into it right now, but the whole total quality innovation idea was an American idea that none of the American companies would buy back in the 70s. So the guy that kind of pioneered that went over to Japan to companies like Honda and Toyota and Nissan and sold it to them. And that's why between, I think it was the 60s through the 70s, that's why they came back with such high quality. It was an American innovation idea, but the American companies were kind of too bloated at the time to care.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they figured the Americans would buy anything that they put out.
Yeah.
They wasn't worried about anybody else overseas making cars and selling them in the United States.
Yeah.
They thought the Volkswagen Bug that came over here was just a fluke, and everybody was just having fun with it.
Yep.
But they still just kept making cars the way they always made cars.
Yep.
Not very safe and not very good on gas, but you romp down on them and they'd haul ass pretty good.
Yeah.
And they thought they'd get away with that for years.
Yeah. And it lasted until like the mid 70s.
Yeah, there's the oil and bar.
Well, when did they come out with that K car? Remember Mopar was.
Oh, that was the late 79, I think. 79, 81, somewhere in that generation.
It might have been. And I was thinking 82, 83, something like that.
Nah, I remember the K cars though.
They were sinking. They were going broke. They thought they was going to have to file bankruptcy. And Iacocca pulled their ass out.
Lee Iacocca, yeah.
Yeah, and they started making junk cars that would last a while. That was real good. They looked like they was good cars and they handled good, but they were cheaper as shit.
Yeah.
And they should have done that years ago.
Oh, absolutely. When I worked at the Dodge store up in Salem, God damn it, the owner, the guy that founded Withnell Nissan, I can't think of his name. Anyway, he drove one of those cars that he bought originally back in like the early 80s, and he drove that car at least once or twice a week to prove that it had longevity. And he did that right up until I worked there in 2009. So yeah.
Well, my dad had a little Chrysler LeBaron, I think it was.
Yeah.
K car, little 4-door thing, and the engine and the power plant ran good. The engine, the transmission combination,
Yeah.
actually worked really good. The rest of the car just kind of like had a lot of little problems with it, some wiring problems, turn signal switches, door power window door motors and regulators, and it just kind of like a nickel dime to your death. But at least it didn't start hitting it until it got about 150,000 miles on it.
Yeah, I remember those because that was when they started doing.
Really decent.
Yeah, that's when they started doing like the voices and stuff, like your door is ajar, and they did the digital displays on the You know what I'm talking about? The speedometer and tachometer and shit. Yeah, they did all kinds of innovative shit. Dodge, for all their like woes, and they've had so many over their entire life, they've always been kind of innovative.
No, hold on. Who was Coca? I thought he worked for Ford.
He worked for both. After he left Ford, he went to Dodge.
Coca?
Yeah, wasn't he kind of responsible for running point on the Shelby team?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Ford?
He left after he left Ford. He went to Dodge.
Into a lot of shit. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the same guy.
Okay.
But you know, like any of those big CEOs, they move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they move on. In fact, remember Larry Johnson, good buddy of mine?
Yeah.
He's got what is it, late 80s? Dodge Dakota Shelby.
Oh,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. So there was.
He's got one of those.
Yeah.
And it's it's an actual car or pickup that Shelby put his name on, and customized and whatever. They put a little 318 in it. They hopped up the engine a little bit, and you could get it with a 4-speed or you could get it with an automatic. And what's neat is the suspension on it is a lot like an automobile.
Mhm.
Upper and lower front control arms, coil springs, shocks, and the rear, no leaf springs over the top of the axle, underneath the axle. So they set kind of low, and they ride like a car.
Yeah, I remember that Shelby, started designing cars for Dodge.
Mhm. That was all Iacocca.
Yeah.
Because they had that pre-existing relationship
Okay.
from Ford.
Okay. And then Shelby designed the Shelby Series 1.
Mhm.
And who did he make that on his own?
I think
plans?
that was him. Yeah,
I think
that was all.
him.
That was all Shelby. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he
guys.
used parts.
Hey, you're talking to an old man here, and I got to get up and go to work in the morning.
All
All
right.
right. Talk to you later, Dad.
Have a good night.
You guys have fun.
Bye.
Yeah, no, Shelby was a custom car guy. He wasn't necessarily a Ford guy. And so he was building his own cars back before Lee Iacocca got him involved in the Shelby series of the Mustang. And the Ford the Ford
The Cobra.
No,
Because the Cobra was before the Mustangs.
Yeah, but that wasn't Ford. That was
just Ford Motors.
They were Ford Motors, but that was just the Shelby Cobra.
Right.
But
well, those were AC Bristol bodies.
Yeah.
So they weren't even Shelby bodies.
Well, he didn't like design everything on his own.
I don't think he had any manufacturing capability really to speak of.
No, he would just take bodies from Europe and put motors from America and do that. And that's kind of what they did with the what was the fucking Ford? God damn it! What's the Ford's supercar?
The GT40.
The Ford GT. Yeah, is it a GT40? Yeah. The
new
GT40.
one's a GT. The original
Yeah.
Shelby design was the GT40.
Yeah. So that was the real kind of introduction, I think, the induction of Shelby into the Ford family, and then Lee Iacocca, I believe, left Ford in the 80s and ended up in Dodge. And I think he brought Shelby on to do
because I know that there were some Shelby Daytonas.
Shelby Dodge Daytona Turbo Z's. It was.
I remember that there was a Dakota.
Yep. He did.
And then
did
the
some
Viper.
Stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that's probably what he's most known for at Dodge.
I think that was after Iacocca left, though, because I want to say that.
What year did the Viper? Was it 94? Was that the first year for the Viper?
I might be wrong. Maybe Iacocca was still there.
Well, I'll look up what the first year for the Viper is.
Okay, I'll look up when Lee Iacocca left Dodge. Okay, or Mopar.
Yeah. Well, you know what Mopar was, right? It's not.
What's up?
Mopar is the performance accessory catalog for Dodge.
Right. Yeah. Lee Iacocca Dodge. So, when was he with Dodge? Well, he was definitely
91?
Definitely involved with. Fuck. He was with them until 2009? Really? No, that can't be right.
So 92.
Oh, he retired in 92. Yeah. Okay, there it is.
Okay, so yeah, Lee Iacocca probably was involved in the first in the Viper. Because I would imagine it took a couple years to get it together.
Probably, yeah.
And it looks like the first model year was 91.
Well, him and Shelby had a pretty long relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Dude, did you watch not the Shelby movie with Matt Damon, which is good.
Okay.
But on Netflix, there's the Shelby documentary.
I haven't watched either of them, really.
It's awesome.
I have to pee. I think
let's call it.
Let's call this right now. It's been a lot of good talk about cars, a little bit about politics. We'll have more next time. Thank you. Until next time, I'm Tom.
Ernie.
This is Middled Out. Have a good night.